we've chosen these three individuals is that they can speak to what's happening really on the street at the employer level. We've talked a lot about concepts, what's happening environmentally at the national level, and what in theory is going to happen. But the three of them can tell us what's actually happening with their businesses, and that's what we wanted to share with you today.
This first question is for Kevin. What is our role as businesses to act in compliance with the Affordable Care Act?
From a compliance perspective, integrity is coming at this in two directions. We need to look at this from okay, what are the rules and how do we handle it if we want to be in compliance? And we also look at it from another angle, which is where do we not have to comply? So I think the best way to answer the question is to express that we are in a wait and hold mode. Our strategy, believe it or not, has been to wait. We've adopted all of the counting requirements of the Act. For those of you that are familiar with it, when you have to take a snapshot of your workforce, you can do that in various ways, quarterly or annually. Certainly the compliance rules that have been continually pushed back, we've been tracking. Certainly at the beginning of this year, last year, we would have been having to be compliant by the beginning of this year, and now the mandate for the employers has been pushed ahead. The bottom line, and this is the non-ethical answer, the non-ethics concern. The bottom line is you have to meet the law's requirements. You have to be in compliance. You can't hide from this. So as a practical matter, we're going to do the minimum to be in compliance.
There's a few things that we as a company are looking at for our employers. Many employers aren't aware of the numerous notices that need to be issued to the employees, the summaries of benefits and coverage. These are all things that really employers need to be aware of, that they need to be distributing to their employees and need to be tracking. No one's coming back and auditing to see whether or not you're distributing these right now. Eventually that's going to happen. So you want to make sure that you are keeping track and making sure that you're getting all the appropriate notices out. And also, when looking at compliance within the rule and whether or not you have to offer coverage, or the under 50 employers who really today, if they don't offer coverage, are never going to be forced to. And then you're seeing those that approach that 50 mark and are saying whether or not are we going to maybe change the hours of employees. And that's something that you need to think about from an ERISA standpoint and see how that law governs over top of healthcare reform and how they really work together or work against each other, because ERISA states that you cannot reduce the hours of employees for the sole purpose of not offering health insurance, that you must have another sound business reason. So keep that in mind when you're thinking whether or not you're going to hit that 50 mark and whether or not you're going to be offering coverage to your employees.
The only thing I could add to that is that as you're pointing out and talking to your employees, it's important to talk to each employee, and the best, I think, auditable way to handle that is when you talk with them, to have them sign off on it so that you have their name and signature, that they have actually heard what the plan is, because when you will have to offer it to a certain percentage of our employees, we need to keep track of it. That's the best way to do it.